Welcome to our first
Our
YouTube
first
live.
live.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? We got a dynamic guest in the studio. You know what I mean?
in the
With your,
building.
you know what I mean? Mr. Marvel himself, man. Marvel shows up like, you know what I mean? He like, listen, bro, I over deliver. I want to make sure y'all got everything y'all need. And man, it's just an honor to see you, bro.
Listen.
Always, man.
Yes.
And what's so dope, man. I was just Chizzy, man. And shout out to my boy Chizzy. Let's get formal introductions. Chizzy chilling on the couch, Chizzy on the couch. You know what I'm saying? What's
Yeah,
up, pal?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm thankful. I'm blessed. I always like just sitting with the brothers and just talking. And me, this is a part of who I am. I don't like frivolous, endless, useless conversation, useless banter. If we gonna talk, we can talk about something real. We're gonna talk about something that's some substance. So I'm looking forward to this conversation. Got my the two Chris's are in the building, so I'm happy about that, man. Mr.
Yeah,
Mr. Marvell's here, man.
and I'm super excited because we go to the same church, but the church is so big because we never see each other.
That's true.
Really?
So Change Church, 3 services. They got a new building. I was just talking to Jay, the CEO, as we do
Okay.
some business partnerships with them as well. But I saw Pastor Daniels at an event, and we was able to chop it up. And the reason why I'm going there is because we're trying to build as brothers, and we talked about as a lot of guys in Atlanta, not from Atlanta, trying to build, connect with like-minded men. And one of the spaces that we connected was he respected our work on Boy Man King.
Yeah.
Like he respected the
Sure.
platform, the energy, the effort we put in to create this space. And so he was like, I want to add value. I love the space. And I want to kind of highlight as we get ready for the holidays. Well, we kind of just left Thanksgiving. We're getting ready for the holidays for Christmas, but we just left Mental Health Month. And you
Okay.
had
Yeah.
said something on the podcast when we had asked you about why did you reach out to us? You were saying, man, because you don't see a lot of spaces that's really creating a platform for men to focus on men, not
Yeah.
men to be a part of to talk about another subject, not men to be a part of to talk about marriage, not men to be a part of to talk about, entrepreneurship, but men just talk about men. And I had really felt for the first time, and maybe I may even be ignorant to it, that nobody talked about Mental Health Month for men in November. Did you feel like people really made a big deal and there was a commercial and there was events in your local community
I
that was
mean,
highlighted?
you already knew what, like we're underserviced, we're undervalued, and this is why we do what we do. So no, to answer your question, no. If you didn't mention it, I wouldn't even never even known it was mental health month in November. So that's
For
another
men.
reason for
Like,
men.
like
Yeah,
I think if it was mental health in general,
we
it
would
would have
probably
been
known
some
about it.
events. It
Yeah,
would have been on our radars.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that men, as far as the field themselves, there's not a ton of practitioners.
not at all, not at all.
Think about the amount of practitioners,
Yeah,
mostly a women-dominated field.
sure,
So those
sure.
voices tend to be, of course, listen, we're highlighting women. If we're highlighting family and children, you're going to see a lot more on the forefront. Men, just by and large, they either haven't created the platforms, they don't know how to use their voice in that way. But we know that men, as the leaders of their family, have to have that spotlight on them, because to me, as your family goes, first proceeds your mental health, first
Yeah,
proceeds your emotional life, first proceeds your physical life. If you're sick as a man, you can't lead your family. You're sick. But
yeah.
that could be sick mentally, that could be sick emotionally, that could be sick physically. So you have to take that time to address at least a compartment of a part of your life. That's mental health. If you're not addressing that part, I don't care how big and strong you are, I don't care how
Right.
much money you got in the bank. All of it is for naught if you don't have this space up here that drives your behavior, that drives your decision making. I mean, think about it this way. We see our favorite athletes, if they get a concussion, I don't care how big and bad, how valuable they are.
That's a good
If
analogy.
your mindset is messed up because your brain smacked your skull, you're out for 2 weeks. You're worth, $500,000 to the team a game, but you
Yeah.
can't play. So if your mind is messed up as a father, how could you possibly feel as if you can be in the game of your family?
So,
Yeah.
so what I wanted, John, I want you to go and answer this with Chizzy, who's currently in Canada and trying to reacclimate himself as a man to kind
Yeah.
of stay on this. But what can we do? Okay, it was supposed to be highlighted in November, men's mental health. But in your, as a professional, like what are some things that you feel like in general, every man or the general public should be aware of that men need to be sharp mental health wise? Like what are some basic things that everybody needs to understand? Men need this. What does
Yeah,
that look
we
like?
can talk about some very basic elements. I think that men need to move their bodies. I think that we're working from home so much more now. It's easy for us to be, acclimated to our desk. That's so you have to get up and move your body. Just you moving your body changes your chemistry, changes your physical nature. Of course, you're gonna lose that weight that you've been wanting to lose, but also it releases the hormones that make you happy. It allows you to connect with other people. You moving your body is important. Many people say that isolation is bad for men. I think that there has to be a balance. I think that men who are required to do much within their house, there is some desire for a man to at least get time to himself so that he can reclaim some of that mental space, some of that mental acreage, so that he can build on himself. If he's constantly being the dad, then the husband, back to the dad, back to the husband, by the end of the night, he's completely done. But he's not spent any time building onto himself. I can drive across the country, but I don't care how fast I drive, how well I drive, I have to stop and get gas. If I don't stop and get gas, I'm going to run out of fuel to be able to get us where we're trying to go.
Another good analogy.
Okay. And so I do say that men need some level of balanced isolation.
So we got exercise, movement, and strategic isolation.
Strategic isolation. Also, we got to work on what we eat. Okay. Now, your gut health is directly connected to your mental health. Think about it this way. I'll make it very simple. Think about when you're a little embryo, you're a ball, right? That's all you are. But in that embryo is the formations of your brain, your legs, everything. So tell me, when did your gut get disconnected from your brain? It never happened, right?
Never.
So if on Thanksgiving, for all of you big turkey players and all you ham hock eating
Okay,
I'm just saying. I'm so sorry.
I really feel like he went there, Chizzy. Because I want Chizzy to let you kind of let him know your situation, Chizzy. But he like saw me have a burger from Dairy Queen underneath the desk, and he went straight to the food thing. I really feel it's a personal because I got some Dairy Queen before I pull up on the live, and he had, his whole energy kind of shifted once he saw the bag. But let's focus on Chizzy. Chizzy, kind of explain to our public like the dynamics you've been dealing with. And I want to particularly put it as I feel like you have a lot of isolation with leaving your home country, flying here, living in Canada, trying to get yourself established. And I want you to speak to like men who are in situations that Chizzy, elaborate, Chizzy, like your situation.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Chris, in a lot of ways that the isolation is important. When you're called to be so much for so many people, that's important. I've entered into a space where my isolation is even greater. As Chris said, leaving Bermuda, coming to Canada, leaving my comfort zone, and put myself in a position where I need to better myself from a therapeutic space. So for my intentionality is a lot greater than it's ever been in my entire life. So every morning, specifically every morning, I'm up. I don't like to. He knows me. I don't like to get up early. There's some schools of thought that say getting up early, you're up more productive in your day. But for me, routines are routines, and if you include positive routines in your life, then you will 100% get the same benefits from the individual that gets up early. That's my perception. So for me, my intentionality is super strong. In the morning, it's the prayer line, it's my devotion, it's my exercise routines. Everything that I do for me now at this point in my life, because I recognize that I'm more isolated than I've ever been in my entire life, by choice, of course, my routines have to be very, 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 very strict in that regard. So I can balance those times where my own personal isolation can, before it used to overwhelm me in terms of my thoughts. But now, because my intentionality in my spiritual walk and my exercise walk and my devotional walk is far greater, I've seen the benefits of just being very, very much in tune with me. And everything around my day comes after those there's commitments that I make first thing in the morning. So nothing happens past. So for me, my gym, prayer line, devotion. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. Those are the first three things that I do in my entire day. Everything happens after that. And I'm very, very strict about that. So whether that's picking up my daughter, whether that's doing business stuff, whether that's, you know, helping doing my basketball program, everything centers around my intentionality and the time that I need for myself to be grounded in that particular way. Because at this phase of my life, like you said, when you're cold, when you're actually doing so much for so many people for so long, you kind of get depleted in a way. And this is my way of now replenishing myself so that I can now serve, so I can now be a better resource for my children, so I can now focus on my own professional development, my own academic development for me. I don't know if that answers your question, Crump. Um,
I mean, I was hoping maybe there was a struggle, but it looked like you really got a handle on it.
Yeah.
Because I think when I
I
want to take what people, I want to highlight the point that you shared though. Before you add, you said routine, and you said it uncompromisingly. I
yeah.
have my routine so that my thoughts don't,
Mm-hmm.
because you said at some point your thoughts will consume you. And do you, in your professional opinion, do you feel like that's essential for men to have a routine when their circumstances are like inconsistent and uncontrollable in the sense of like he's still trying to establish himself in a foreign country. So it's like in those regards, how important is routines for men who maybe don't have their home, their family around them and their cousins around them and their high school mates around. Like he's just there trying to support his children, but they're with their mom. Mm-hmm. And so how important are routines?
Yeah, I mean, we'll all agree that you have to have something that you can count on every single day, right? That's why we need dependable shelter. We need to know that there's food in the refrigerator. That's a part of routine as well. So for you to wake up and go down to the refrigerator, know that there's at least some juice, some milk, something for you to add some sustenance to your body. That's a part of the routine. When you go down there and there's nothing in the refrigerator, that jars you, it throws you off, it makes you stressed. So your routine allows, it's almost you're on autopilot. That allows you to get through your day more seamlessly if what you have to do after that is very heavy and important. This is why we always hear that Zuckerberg's closet is very, analog to some degree. It's just black, gray, and maybe some white t-shirts, because he doesn't want to take the time to think about that part of his routine of getting dressed. He simplifies that part of his life. So if like every day, my routine is, once I get my kids off to school, I take my youngest one to school, I'm to the gym. Like you can best believe that's every single day. Now, when something gets in the way of that, it throws my energy off. Therefore,
I agree.
The next hour or two, I gotta get that back because that energy, my routine either heals me or kills me.
Come on.
Yeah.
So I have to, and now me going to the gym, having that time to myself, that's healing for me. And if I get out of that system for more than 2 or 3 days, I start to feel like I'm dying I feel like I need to get myself back. I got to come back here and figure that out.
Listen, so today, for instance, right, I broke my routine. My boy called me. He was like, yo, I have this tenant. He runs Airbnb. It's his little business. Like, yo, I need you to go to this place. I need you to, the tenant's not paying them money. I need you to get them out. They need to leave. So I broke my routine. Normally, on a Saturday, I'm up. I did my devotion. Cool. Obviously, the prayer line's not available on a Saturday, but I centered myself in that particular way, but I haven't been to the gym. So to your point, we have the live now at 1 o'clock. I'm saying, man, I'm feeling a little off today. Like I'm feeling like I need to get that time back. Once we're done here, I'm sticking to my routine. I'm gonna leave her. Once we're finished, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna be there for like 2 hours. Because Chris, when I go, it's a whole process, and he'll tell you, I'm there for like 2 hours. I hit the weights. I'm in the steam. I'm in the sauna. I'm in the pool. Bro, this is my space, right? And I tell people, if y'all not including this in your everyday routine, you're selling yourself short, bro. Like it's super. I can't understate how important it is to really 2 hours of your day for you is minimal, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Chizzy, what's crazy is he's always been like that, and because even though he looks, Chizzy looks young, he's really old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's important to
He
understand.
Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah,
Oh,
like he almost about to be 50. You know
he
what I mean?
Grandmaster Flash. Oh,
Yeah, like
Grandmaster Flash.
way too much.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
way too much.
yeah,
But
yeah.
he looks
Take it
so
easy.
vibrant, right? Because he values his
yeah.
self-care. But let me tell you something, man. I'm 40 and
Yeah.
I was in the gym back-to-back days playing ball.
Yeah.
When I tell you the dopamine that, like, because I wasn't doing it, the banter, the connection, I was like, yo, I see. Because they was like, yo, we've been doing this routine here 3 days, 4 days a week since 2015. He's like, he's like 4 or 5 of these guys been here since that time.
Wow.
Like 5:30 in the morning. Cause I was like, yo, hit the court for an hour, do my push-ups, hit the like something. I'm like, bro, I'm literally ready for whatever the day has. Whatever like me personally as a man, all of the money, the business, I don't know what's going to happen, but I am officially ready. Like I was like, because I'm driving back home, I'm like, yo, it's 7:30 in the morning. I literally got the whole day to do whatever. I spent time with God. I hopped on the men's prayer line, and I was like, yo, I'm ready for whatever because my cup is full. And I didn't realize it until I took a month off from going in the gym and how hard it hit me. Yes, my legs were sore, but what was really hitting me was how good I felt separate from the soreness.
Yeah.
So I transitioned to this holidays is coming, and a man had shared something to me when I was like, "Hey, yo, bro, the holidays is coming. Let's take a break." He's like, Crump, the worst thing you could do is take a break because the holidays for a lot of men is a sad time."
Oh, let me get to it. Now, here's my opinion about. I don't even know if you were going here. I had said this just about a couple weeks ago that men need other men to help support them during this time. Here's why. Right. In my opinion, is that this is the most stressful time for men. And we got, the economy, which, you got inflation, you got stuff just spiraling all out of control as far as cost. Men in this season feel a pressure to provide like none other in this season. And it's to provide to the dreams of their children, of their family, and a lot of men. I mean, you got to think, the majority of people don't have $5,000 between, like space, right? Like maybe $1,000. So when you're saying your kids, I want that, I want this, that man then goes internal and figures, I can't do that. So now what does that make him feel? He feels
my value is determined, it's based off of my ability to give you these material things and provide for you. I not to cut you off, Chris. Sorry, Super Chris. I'm gonna call you Super Chris if that's all right, because I'm calling you Super Chris.
Oh, bro. So he's Super Chris, and I'm
honored.
Bro.
Only close to the last name. Only close to the Marvel last name.
Crump. Let's just go Crump and Chris.
All right, cool. All right. Let me make my point. My simple point was
Super Chris.
Super Chris is harsh.
Yeah, because I'm like,
you got a lot of haters. You got a lot of haters. You got a lot of haters.
Just share. Just share with you. Just go share with you.
My simple point was that yes, to your point, I posted a clip. I do something called Uni Coach with Chizzy, 60-second clips every other day on Monday to Friday. Shout out to Noel for helping me produce those clips. But I made an exact point to what you're saying. Our identity is centered so much around our ability to provide. And Christmas time, like you said, and the holiday season is one of those times where a lot of brothers really, really struggle in that area because the materialism heightens during Christmas. And we put a lot of stuff through it, put ourselves through a lot of undue stress, in my opinion. So to your point, there needs to be a community, and this is what we're endeavoring to do here, a community for men, just to give them that support, not financially, but to let them know that their value is not determined by how many gifts that they can get for their children. And that's a part of.
Okay, but I'm sorry. Let me go back to this point. The point I bring it up.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to get at is, okay, you know that, Chizzy. We know that. But what do you do about the kids and the wife and the significant other saying, baby, daddy, can you get me this? I got all A's. You promise and so now you understand okay,
Right.
my identity is not attached, but you got to deal with this practicality of I'm trying to make Christmas something, and now I got teenagers. All their gifts is in the hundreds and thousands. None of their gifts is candy and a doll and a toy. All their gifts is technology and a car. You know what I mean? So it's like,
You have to be realistic and have real conversations on a consistent basis around your family, around holiday expectations, around family expectations, around financial expectations. And it's nothing you could just say, all right, I can't afford to buy that. I think over time you have to build a culture within your household and with your family that allows for their value, for them to see your value not only based on what they want, but the other things that you can provide for them. It's not. I don't think it's a quick fix to saying, all right, we can't do this. But I think over time you have the capacity as a leader to really, really demonstrate to them that value is not monetary. And value is centered more around us spending time together, our ability to give to other people during the Christmas holiday, and not just financially, just the giving of your time, the giving of your energy, the giving of your advice. These things have to be nurtured over a period of time. It can't just happen tomorrow. We can't just look up in the mirror and say, "Hey, I can't really afford to do this. Will my kids look at me some type of way?" They may, but if we're doing everything that we can throughout the year, I believe our kids and our family members will start to turn that corner and say, all right, we can now shift the conversation to the material side of value to more of a communication and more of a relational side of value in terms of what we all can provide for each other.
Let's be honest, the material side of things doesn't have really much value at all when it
Zero
comes to
value.
kids. I mean, you can spend $1,000, and I mean, we've all done it, right? You've spent big money on Christmas. 3 days later, 70% of what you bought isn't
They don't
really
play it no more.
right. So it's really not what it is. Is you feel as a father, this is my time to show my kids I love them.
Yeah.
They're showing you this ain't the way.
Right.
That it's almost like this miscommunication that's going on. So you feel if I don't spend the money, they're going to put the pressure on me. So why didn't you get that for me, Dad? We can't afford it. Or why did you get that? You forgot. Whatever it is that makes you feel as if you're operating a level of scarcity has nothing to do with the fact that you don't love your kids, that you didn't try your best this year, that you gave them whatever you give them. If you decided, no, listen, we're not doing gifts this year, we're going to Cabo.
Yeah.
Where I got you guys season passes.
You couldn't go to Airbnb. You went to Cabo. You can't go to gifts. You can't say no gifts and then Cabo.
Well, the parents got to enjoy.
But let's just do a staycation first, and then Chizzy.
We go to the Tennessee mountains.
Something, bro. Like this said no gifts to Cabo. The reason why we don't got no gifts because the way my bank account is set up. Your boy said no. We're not going to do gifts. We're going to go to Cabo.
I heard somebody say instead of buying your kids gifts, buy them experiences. Instead of buying them gifts, buy them a season pass to Andretti's. Buy them, some tickets to the aquarium. Buy them things that build on their memories and their experiences in their life. Yeah. Because I'm telling you now, like my middle child, bless his heart, he will go to the wall for something he wants. He'll put in the Amazon cart. He's going to ask you 30 million times. The minute you order it, he's then going to be at the door. Is it coming today, Daddy? Is it coming today? Tracking numbers. Wow. You want to know when is it coming?
That's a culture in a household. That was said Chizzy. He got to track.
You got a lot of shit today, bro. You got a lot of
today.
Chris, you got to put some shares on because he's doing a lot of shares in that direction today, man.
No, I'm just making sure. I'm making sure we get to the experiences part because, shout out to Andretti's, shout out to Top Golf, shout out to the movies with the lounge chairs. Like some things could be classic for the family during this seasonal time where we spend some time together. I think that's important that we shifted from these items to these experiences and these memories.
They kids, man. Kids are gonna be kids, and so our job is to really, really demonstrate to them how, these material things are nice to have, but at the end of the day, you want to build character in your children. And as I said earlier, that comes over time. And so we have to just be intentional in terms of how we translate what we want value to look like for our kids in terms of how we put those things into action. So yes, the fine balance of getting them what they want, what they think they want is balanced out with, all right, yes, we need to do things. And like you said, create experiences for the children, create experiences so that when they reflect on their development as children, they don't only reflect on the material things that they got. They remember when Daddy took me to Andretti's. They remember when Daddy took me to Cabo. They remember when Daddy took me to place. They remember when Daddy made it a point to ensure that our way of giving back on Christmas is centered around doing charitable things for other people. Those are important values that are important, that kids need to really experience, and that's where we just have to be realistic and we just have to be intentional in how we want to actually foresee the type of values that we want our children to have over a period of time. So that was back to my original point. The material things are cool, and kids are going to be kids because they want what they want. We already know that. But we have to make sure that we are able to anticipate what they may want when they don't even know that they want it. You know what I mean?
I think that in this environment of economic continuity when it comes to Amazon, DoorDash, I don't think kids have the yearning to want what they want the way we did when we were kids. Like Christmas was your time to get your stuff. Like that Sears catalog came in the mail, that thick catalog.
Shout out to Kmart. Shout out to Layaway.
You would circle your
Chizzy,
stuff.
you don't even know about Layaway.
Yo,
Shout out
we
to
have
Kmart
we have Montgomery Ward. You know what Montgomery Ward is? You know what Montgomery Ward is? Similar to a Sears catalog. It's a whole catalog, all types of gifts, Transformers. You got a whole book about this thick. And my mama used to go there and she'd be like, all right, we're going to order from Montgomery Ward. And you put a list together. So similar to what you're saying, a Sears catalog. You don't even know what Montgomery. God's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, that's a Bermudian thing. That doesn't count.
But we would look at this catalog and you would circle in, and my mom did everything she could to get the stuff that we circled. But now they're on Amazon. Come on, January, February, they want a DoorDash. Like, DoorDash. You understand that when you went to McDonald's,
DoorDash is the devil. It's on YouTube. DoorDash is like, listen, bro, do not attach your account to your kid's account. Chizzy, don't do it.
It's literally they're now there is rampant spending. So I don't think that my children have the same fever to even ask for things during Christmas as we did. But that gives us more of an opportunity on the holiday to instill more of the values of charity, of what the day is that we're actually celebrating.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, because they're not actually asking for so much anymore. They ask your kids, what's 10 things you want? I guarantee they can't come up with 10 because most of their desires are digital. So most of the things they enjoy is just digital stuff. They don't want a bunch of toys away. They don't want to go through the toy store and pick out stuff. That's not what they want anymore. So now let's use that time to drive them away from you spending a bunch of money out of guilt. Maybe you haven't been the best parent. Maybe you've been absent. Okay, come on, man. If this ain't your time to reclaim that space, I'm telling you now, you're going to bankrupt your account and you still going to have a bankrupt child emotionally. Do not go into it thinking that you can recover that. It's not going to work. That child is going to enjoy them gifts, but they enjoy you more. Spend the time reclaiming your energy with your kid and building those moments with your partner or whatever it is, but you cannot reclaim heartfelt issues through money. I think that is a very surface level way of 100%. Dealing with the things you haven't done emotionally.
Yeah, so I want to circle back. One thing I look at your episode, make sure you guys go check it out. Powerful, man. Like, we got your stories. Shout out to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Look at, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna leave that there. But so nobody knows what that means, but it's okay.
I'm glad you said it, because I was looking at the head. I was like, that's his brand. That's the Chris loves everyone brand.
Let's come back. So the point I was making is that we kind of didn't get a chance to tap into your professionalism. And Chizzy, you guys are kind of in this therapy space, and you can hear on the call, you guys are good at this, great at it. But for a man, who's in this season, in the holidays, but struggles to reach out to a therapist, struggles to say, I need help. Let me make an action item to do something. Me and Chizzy talk about how, it took him a while to say, accept some things, to say, I'm going to reach out and like, nah, I need help. I'm going to get myself. Like, as men, you both have experienced, you directly, Chizzy, just recently, the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
What can men do who we already know are struggling in this season to reach out to people like yourself? And how can they find people like you? Because you're not just a therapist and a man, but you kind of get it, as men would say. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's so many trendy things on Instagram, but it's like we're concerned because we just want, that's such a hard thing for us to do. You're a relevant guy, but how do people find you, even if they make the decision? How to make the decision, and then how to find somebody like yourself to get help.
I think that we have to go through the layers of what it takes. There's less barriers to making a therapeutic appointment than ever before. There's other nuances that become blockades to it, though. So let's say this: if you didn't grow up with a great communicative experience with your father, you're gonna have a hard time booking a male therapist. Okay. If you had a strange relationship with your mother, you're probably not going to see a woman as someone that you as an outlet. So identifying who you want to talk to first is key. First off. Second, there are sites, psychologytoday.com. Okay. Those that they're going to give you the ability to filter out who you want to talk to, whether it is based on gender, whether it's based on religion, whether it's based on age. You can break down. No, so listen, the business that we do is not therapy. We actually don't even do anything personal therapy one-on-one. We only focus on organizations, schools, by providing the training for staff. So we do the mental health training for staff, but we don't do any clinical work for people. Now, there are great men and women who are in this field devoting their life to it. And all types of, therapeutic interventions that you can go to. The most primary one is going to be CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. If that's like the grandfather of them all. Yeah. But when you're looking on psychologytoday.com, figure out who you want to talk to in your area. There are other websites that you can just look for Black therapists. And that they'll pencil them out. You don't even have to go in the office. You can actually look to do it just virtually. When COVID came, a lot of laws were actually passed for teletherapy. So you can actually do your talk therapy sessions virtually. You don't even have to go to the office. Now, you can't see somebody, if you live in Ohio, you can't see somebody in LA. It is state specific. All right. It is state specific for the licensure. But here's the thing. What you have to do is get rid of the mindset first. A lot of us, especially Black people, have that what happens in my house stays in my house. That was a protection for our parents that generationally doesn't really work for us to be healed. You have to say to yourself, this is a part of what I'm going through, and I'm either going to struggle and die in silence. Some of you are dying right now in the open. So I'm either going to die in the open alone, or I'm going to do it with the therapist. When I talk to my therapist, it allows me a safe space that's not connected to any outcome. So if I talk to my wife about what I'm going through, she may take some of what I say personally. If I talk to my mom, she may take some of it. So I have to talk to somebody who is an arbitrary party that is trained to be able to take my stuff when they pull me apart and help me put it back together by the time I lead a session. That is better than YouTube venting. It's better than Instagram venting. You have to have a safe space. A trained person.
And again, I also believe that we as men, I think the educated, I'm gonna say the educated few, meaning in this space that we occupy, whether it's Boy Man King, whether it's the work that you're doing, whether it's the work Chris is doing, whether it's the prayer line, I think we can also do a better job in creating communities for men, because we can't assume that men are going to reach out to us. We can't assume they're going to find us. So even if it's a 5 minute, I was telling Chris all the time, we'll go friends, right? And sometimes I hold him accountable. I'm like, yo, bro, there are times where I don't speak to you for weeks, and I know you're busy, and I know you got stuff going on, but I need you to understand that our relationship, what you bring to the table in terms of supporting me, is vital, is what I need. When I come down to Atlanta and we record, those moments where I'm in that space, it's probably the best moments I'm going to have, and I'm going to hold on to that for a period of time. So we also have to hold ourselves accountable in terms of how we attaching ourselves to people that we need to attach ourselves to, even if it's a simple thing as a text message, as a yo, bro, let's just have a time where we just sit off and talk, whether it's a daily reminder that, hey, I know I'm got this collection of 10 brothers that I can speak to, that I could speak to, that I don't speak to. How am I staying connected to these brothers in a way where they feel like they don't always have to come to us, or they don't have to go look for services, or they don't have to be, because a lot of our brothers, a lot of guys, pride is a big issue as it relates to mental health, especially in the Black community. We talk to our barbers, we talk to our bartenders, we talk to our brethren on the street, but in terms of humbling yourself, say, listen, man, I really need to just get some things off my chest and seek a way of getting understanding for why I do the things. That's a hard self-analysis to make for the average person. We just are fortunate enough to have been aligned with people like you, Chris, myself, who actually have these conversations on a regular basis. For the brothers that don't have these conversations and are just living in crisis, you know what I mean? It's a very difficult thing to now step outside of yourself and say, hey, all right, I need to now evaluate why I
Yeah,
think
but
why I do.
yeah, but I kick back because you're
Mm-hmm.
here because you reached out.
Sure,
I'm
sure.
I'm in a space because I made a decision as a man. Like I have a quote now that I fully believe that accountability is your responsibility.
Yeah.
Like you can't expect as a mature grown adult for another adult to make sure you get what you need. Like it is your
You're right. You're right.
responsibility to make sure you be honest with yourself. And when if you don't have something, instead of acting like you do, like what we did when we was kids and teenagers and 20-year-olds, like, no, I'm not good. No, I'm not right. No, I'm
But
not
then
okay. And
I
I need to, because like he said, there is resources, but he talked about those blocks. And I don't want to mess up the terminology, but what I'm saying is my experience has taught me we were known each other for almost 20 years,
mm-hmm.
right? You see me on the call every morning with men. You know
Yeah,
I was a minister in the church. You know I was
yeah,
providing the community. But you had to get to a space
for
where
sure.
you
For sure.
say, Crump, I got a
I
problem,
need,
bro.
yeah, I need this. I need.
Basketball is cool. Arguing about Jordan LeBron is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching you for years. I need to have a
Mm-hmm.
whole separate conversation
Mm-hmm.
with you. You know what I mean? And I can't really do nothing, to be honest,
Right,
until
until you.
when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. It's like I want to caution. Yes, we create the spaces are there for men to have a safe space, but a man has to be honest and say, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. I got gaps and I want to be coachable and I want to listen and I want to learn and I want to apply what I learned. Like
Yeah.
This to me is an area that I personally have to do better in. And I think that when I look back on like where those moments were broken, it's it's usually men helped you break them. So you had some trust, whether it was with friends or it was people that were mentors of yours. It could be anybody in the space that you gave some space to be accountable to. If they dropped the ball or dropped you, boy, I'm telling you, that is a hard road back. It's a hard road back, and so you have to then relearn to trust again, and retrusting men or anyone can be tough and difficult. And so you end up making excuses that become blockades. You make excuses as to why you can't be held accountable or why you don't want accountability. It's I think it is more of a journey than just saying you got to be held accountable with someone. I do think that we have to get that background and the nuance of how did you get here so that I can give you the proper road. When it's easy to get downtown Atlanta, but if there's a traffic jam, Waze is going to have to reroute you to get you still to the same destination. And we can't treat everyone with the I-85 straight downtown route. Sometimes you got to get off the side street, talk to me here about this, help me get back on the freeway so I can get back to the destination.
So one thing is official. right? Chizzy.
Like a
He is the
referee whistle.
champion of analogies, bro. Like he done like listen, when we go back, like I'm gonna study this episode just for the 5 analogies. This guy like, okay, one thing you're spicy in is analogies, bro. But that's fine, bro. I appreciate you. And listen, we want to man, first of all, thank you for making yourself available, man. Thank you for giving us your time and your expertise. But Chizzy, man, any last things you kind of want to leave the people with as we highlight your episode, highlight the platform, but I really wanted to highlight, you know, it just felt like November came and left, and nobody talked about on a real level, on a consistent basis, the necessity of men's mental health. I want to let you two just kind of close us out with your closing remarks.
I mean, my closing remarks are: if you have the capacity to bring a brother into your space, then just do so. You know what I mean? I have 3 of my brethren that I talk to every day who I recognize, they need, and I don't want to seem like everybody's out here with all this baggage and they're just succumbing to all of the fleshly desires and they're just doing anything. But I would still stand on those who have the capacity to do better should act in a way that brings people into a space where they can also learn to do better and be better. So people like ourselves, so I intentionally reach out to brothers. I intentionally are taking steps to ensure, even if it's a quick little message, yo, how you feeling today? What's going on? I'm intentional in that regard because that's just who I am as a person. You know what I mean? In the hopes that a light bulb may go off and they may say, all right, man, listen, I need to really, 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 really take a step. Because even most of my good friends are married. I'm divorced. So I can tell you for a certainty, I know what it's like to have a bad situation. I know how to do a marriage wrong. So in that particular way, I feel like I can give them some insight of, hey, this is the struggles that I have. This is what I did and why I messed it up. And we can go down the laundry list of saying, well, it was her and all that victim mentality that we have to share to get to a different place of understanding. But I think I have a responsibility to people in my immediate circle to be like, look, man, if I have something that you can benefit from, whether it's the podcast, whether it's my time, whether it's my energy, whether it's you learning from my bad experiences or the choices that I made, the sacrifice that I made in those bad experiences, I have a responsibility to give that. And I'm just challenging everybody, anyone who has that capacity. If you have the capacity to pull your brother aside and say, hey, man, I see you need help. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you. Then you have a responsibility to do that. It can't just be we expect men to just one day wake up and say, hey, I'm in crisis. Who can help me? Those who can help should help. Those who have the capacity to do so. And I'm a land plane on that. So, yeah.
Awesome. First off, thank you for having me, once again. And I enjoy my time being here. I think that in today's culture, our gurus are costing us $1,000. And we need a community of people who are not looking to solely make a profit in order to help grow our community anymore.
Yeah.
We are the elders now. We, when we were 10, 13, 14 years old, the people our age were the people we were like, yo, they're older. Like, you know what I mean? Like we asked them questions. If there was a financial question or concern or relate, we went to people who were our age. Now that group, you have to give somebody $5,000 to do that, to learn from those same things. I think there is a chasm of leaders that needs to be filled. And it can't always come with a bottom line attached to it.
Come on.
And to me, that is the gap. I can give enough of my time to where it's not going to hurt my family. Chizzy probably do the same thing. Chris should do the same thing. But we also need to fill in more of those gaps with the people who really do got the knowledge too, right? If you've made a few, M's or you touch millions of people, man, how much more could you do now that you're financially free and that you can do for free? So I'm not here to downplay, people making money. I'm not pocket watching anybody, but I am saying that we are the elders now. And the problems that we see in the world, we are the ones that are now called to, that's our mantle now, right? Is we are now called to alleviate those things. How do we do that? We do that through identifying people whose stories resonate with us because they look like us. So I need to come back and see, whenever I get the chance and I hear a young man or I see somebody that looks and sounds like me or where I was, it is my purpose, my ethical obligation to say something to them.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not they receive it is not my business. One plant, one water, God gives the increase. I'm not here to necessarily make that person change their life. But I am to say, that I can't skip opportunities to do so and then go on stage for a few $1,000s and talk into a microphone. That's is where the water starts to run dry on the seeds you're planting.
Wow. You are blessed to bless. I say that you are blessed to bless. So like I said, to your point, you're blessed to bless. That's what God calls you to be.
Yes.
And this is like, thank you guys for summing up the reason why Boy Man King was created. You know, I literally to date, it's been 2 years or some change. We haven't made $1 from the podcast. We'll probably put in, I don't even want to go into the thousands, but it's 5 figures up of. And the thing was, I was just convicted, and me and Chizzy talked about this when we came off the mountains of Tennessee, when we was driving from that men's retreat 2 years ago. I was just so convicted of the noise that was in the market was just so dysfunctional and unhealthy that somebody had to just say, you know what? Bump making money, bump trying to be popping. Somebody need to tell the truth and give men and give people real information to help people source. And so the hundreds and thousands of people who have said the Boy Man King have blessed them and sent us DMs and comments, and now we're in multiple countries. And it's like, bro, for the people to be saying in Canada and Grenada and Bermuda and all over America to say, man, thank you guys for so much for sharing what you're sharing. It's like, that was the purpose. The purpose was, God, you brought us as men through so many things. It is our duty. It is our responsibility. And Chizzy always says, whether it's 1 or 1 million, we're going to share what men need to hear so that men can get what they need in this season. So I thank you guys, man, because what was rich about this that we've never had before, it wasn't just our first live. This was the first time I felt like this was therapy. Like you both all definitely got, maybe you don't have a license, brother. You know what I mean? And Chizzy, you're still in school, but like what's obvious, you guys have a great spirit presence and therapeutic approach to speaking to the hearts of men. And man, this episode is going to be fire, man. So I encourage everybody to tap in. We're going to be doing more lives. So make sure you not only subscribe, but hit the notification, because we're going to send schedules to when our lives are coming out. Man, shout out to Chizzy on the couch. Please follow Chizzy at Chizzy. Let them know where to follow you at on Instagram.
I mean, I'm on Chizzy BDA on the couch with Chizzy. You can catch me every other day. I'm posting something, just little clips, just little things to help you get through your day, to give you some incentive, to keep you grounded. I'm blessed to be able to bless.
Yeah. Chris Marvel, man, what can they find you on social media, man?
Chris Marvel, I mean, you could just easy, I'm easy to find. You know, like what Dion say, I ain't hard to find. You know, I'm here. So, one thing, man, is that, you know, I want to always stay connected to people like this. And for those of you who are even watching this, connect to someone, take the risk, you know, take the step out, you know, and hit up somebody, text them. Those little conversations can be healing moments.
100%.
That's our last words.
Yeah. But look, man, thank you guys so much. We'll
appreciate
appreciate
you guys, man.
Enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you soon.